Welcome to the What's a Verdict podcast, where we fashion ourselves cinematic judge and jury. My name is JJ Crowder. I'm here with my co-host, Alec Burgess.
Let's get it.
We appreciate you tuning in. Go ahead and hit that follow, subscribe, like, bell notification buttons. Help us keep the podcast rolling. Share it out. Tell a family member about us. Tell a friend about us. Don't tell anybody related to this fucking movie about us, though. Normally, I tell you that I'm out. I don't want anything to do with anybody. Probably this whole fucking month. We can just say,
no thanks.
Just family and friends at this point. So that might change this opening for the rest of March. And speaking of March, we're in March. What a fucking what? It's my birthday month.
Happy birthday, JJ. You
thanks,
lose
man.
again.
I know. Fuck, dude. It's bullshit. One more month, dude, and I know I'm gonna lose April too. One more. I already know. One more month and I am dicked. So yeah, keep an eye out for that fun stuff. But with the start of March, we have a new category, and with that new category is thrillers. I don't know if it was our favorite. I think it was just thrillers.
Yeah, I think it was thrillers. There might have been a favorite in there somewhere, or a
best thrillers, something like
thrillers.
that.
There might have been a list. I don't remember.
But it's Thriller March. How about
Thriller
that?
March, yeah.
It's the month of thrillers.
Much better than Horror March.
Yeah,
put it there.
I mean,
this was great. I love the fact that it was thriller, and there was just that little bit that I needed to go ahead and turn it to my advantage.
just slide past what you don't want to actually watch. I was surprised by at least one of your picks, though, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But before we get into our picks, things like that, we have some new stuff. So if you're on YouTube, I'm sure you can see it by now. If you're not on YouTube, that's okay too, but we'll tell you all about it. So we are partnered up with Dubby energy drinks. I screwed up and don't have mine in front of me, but I do have a couple of tubs that I've been drinking. I'll have it for the next episodes. Right now I've got one that's a rainbow sherbet flavor, and then an orange cream dream, whatever the hell you want to call it, flavor.
Orange cream dream.
I know. I always call it orange cream flavor, but then I heard it's orange dream flavor. I don't fucking know. Anyway, it's one of my favorite flavors of all time.
Okay.
The orange mixed with vanilla. Like, I love that shit. So anyway, I have two of them. I actually really like them. The flavor's really good. And energy drinks, I think I've told you this before. I have to be careful. The older I've gotten, I used to drink a ton of them, but the older I get, the more shaky I get, and the more like, and then I feel like shit, especially if I haven't eaten within, you know what I mean? I have to eat and then I can have one and I'm okay. And normally I'll have about a half of one and then I'll give Casey the other half because I just can't. I don't know what happened when I got old, but I just can't do it. But I will notice that these guys, their energy is like, it's a little different. So it's made with like a coffee bean extract, and it's not a lot of powder that you put into your drink. Like, it's a pretty small little scoop, but one scoop, and I felt a difference. Like, it wasn't like I was like,
you're not wild.
Oh,
you're not double fisting Red Bulls wild.
Yeah. But I was like, I was more alert, and I was able to focus a little bit better, which for me is a necessary thing. And I like it because like I'll have one in the morning, even like with my breakfast or my cereal or whatever. I don't get shaky. There's not a real crash. So anyway, I really like the product. And if you guys have been on our show before, we've had products on that I was like, well, in certain cases, this is great. In other cases, it's not. I fully recommend this. It tastes good. There's tons of flavors. They have shaker cups, things like that you can get. And if you're following us and watching us, listening to us, check us out. I have a code on our screen right now, and I'm about to give it to those. If you go to dubby.gg, that's their website, and you make your purchase, pick all your product, whatever you want, and in the checkout, you put our verdict, all one word, in the code, discount code, you'll get 10% off of your purchase. So go check them out. We do get a commission, so it also helps the podcast grow and keeps us. But like I said, I I wouldn't have it here, and I know Alex the same way. Like we wouldn't be talking about it if it wasn't something that I was willing to say go buy.
I'm still waiting on mine to show up. I ordered it later than JJ, but it's on its way. So
yeah.
Have it here soon.
Yeah, and I think you'll like it. Did you? Oh, you did the one where they picked the flavor for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So as they pick a flavor for us to send us over, that's where I got. And then I ordered the orange cream because I was like, well, fuck, I have to have that. And then they sent me the rainbow sherbet one, and I was like, oh shit, it really does taste like. Did you ever eat those push pops when you were a kid?
Yes.
The little tubes that like the stick. It really tastes like one. It's wild. I was like, whoa. I haven't tried the orange dream yet, but I'm excited. So anyway, so go check out w.gg. Use the code OurVerdict, get 10% off. Like I said, great product, and you'll see us. We'll probably be pitching these guys for a while. So help us out, help yourself out, get some energy. And it's way cheaper in comparison. Like you get a tub of the shit. And that's the one disappointment that I had. When I did open my tub, I'm like, that's not full. But it's a little scoop. So if you only use the one scoop that they tell you to do at a time, 2 scoops a day, one in the morning, one whenever. But so like I do the little scoop, it should get you about 35 drinks. And for the price that you get, especially if you use 10% off, it's way cheaper than buying a bunch of fucking rock stars. You know what I mean? So highly recommend it. And there it is. Thank you. I'll make sure this is shorter next time, but it's our first pitch for Dubby. Go check those guys out. We appreciate it. And let's move on to our movie, Alec. It's Shutter Island. We're kicking off March. And Shutter Island was released February 19th in 2010. It was written by Lyda Kelogridis and Dennis Lehane. Screw those guys' parents for those names. And Martin Scorsese is the director of this film. It stars.
That came out of left field, by the way.
Yeah, that was a wild ass name. I was like, Jesus. Really cool. As long as I don't have to say it on a podcast. Okay, let me gear up because this cast is in fucking insane. We have Leonardo DiCaprio, Emily Mortimer, Mark Ruffalo, Ben Kingsley, Max von Sydow, Michelle Williams, Patricia Clarkson, Jackie Earle Haley, Ted Levine, John Carroll Lynch, Elias Koteas, Robin Bartlett, Christopher Denham, and Nelly Sayudo. Oh, and might as well say Joseph Sikora because he's actually pretty famous now with his TV show on Stars. But with that, this movie is about 2 U.S. Marshals who are sent to a mental institution on an inhospitable island in order to investigate the disappearance of a patient. All right, before I give a not so popular opinion, Alec, tell me why you picked this movie.
Oh, there really is no other reason than the conspiracy that surrounds it. This is 100% feeds my conspiracy theory brain.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all there was to it.
I love it.
When you add in the thriller twist, it's really hard knowing that, or thinking of this as a Martin Scorsese movie, because he adds the gangster marshals in there, right? You can take Scorsese out of the gangster movie. You cannot take the gangster movie out of Scorsese.
Yep.
Right? It's gonna happen. But it's so, the twist is in its own way, like very still wildly left open to interpretation.
Yeah.
Oh, so you can choose essentially which reality or truth you want to believe. It still gives you an ending, right? Which I like when it comes to a movie kind of like this, but there leaves enough of an interpretation that you can choose to believe it completely. You can choose not to believe it at all, or you can believe to choose parts of it. And so that all fed into my, wild conspiracy theory brain where, 100% there's some corrupt facility out there that's lobotomizing people to turn them into obedient government agents that can be unleashed on the public at any given time. Dude, of course this was going on. As soon as I had a convenient excuse to do it.
Dude. Love you. Cracks my
Yeah,
shit up.
there was no way that wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then freaking, I always love the fact that Buffalo Bill is now a prison warden.
Right.
Dude did his time, paid his debt to society, then decided to just turn around and continue to pay his debt to society on the other side of the bars. That always gets me. I love that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But I am interested to hear about your controversial take.
Okay, so this is one of those movies that like people praise the shit out of this movie, right?
Right.
And let me preface what I'm about to say with this is some of the most phenomenal acting. It's typical Martin Scorsese film in that if there's anybody that does a what do they call the big cast, like the
all-star,
yeah, like I can't. There's a word that they use and I can't remember. But when you get this many stars and phenomenal actors like A-listers and even high-level B-listers and even the best C-listers that are out there in this group of actors, like Martin Scorsese does it better than probably most, if not anyone else. I think there's a couple you could argue and especially now have started to get really good at it too. But he started it. And he's the best at it, I think. Now, I say all that to say there is nothing wrong with this from a film perspective and a movie perspective. But I struggle sometimes, and the twist is bar none phenomenal, right? But I also go, no, they're not sending for two things. One, they're not sending some team of fucking agents. Marshals for one missing patient. Okay. I don't care how weird and secretive and bullshit. One missing patient does not equate to this, right? Okay. That's my first issue. I'm like, wow. So the problem with that is that triggered me immediately to go, this is bullshit. Okay. Then that led me to my second problem at the end of the movie when I was confirmed that, and I didn't figure out, like, this is one that I wasn't like, he's a patient. They're trying. I didn't figure that out because in my head, I'm like, nope, they are not going to stage this giant ass fucking production at a mental institution.
Everybody's in on it.
Yeah. Everybody's in on it. This mental institution for one fucking guy to try to solve. It's not, no. And so and this is a me thing again, and I'm not degrading the film. I'm not sitting there saying it's a shitty film. What I'm saying is my brain immediately went to it's all bullshit. And neither of these, even if you can't figure out which one's right, neither of these works for me. And so I've always had that problem with this movie. And it's such a double-edged sword for me because I love to watch it from a technical filming, acting, even like dialogue perspective. Love it. But from a sense of like, this could happen and it makes sense to me, not a goddamn chance. And so it really messes with me watching it. Every time I watch this movie, I come away so frustrated because I'm like, God, you're so fucking annoying. I'm so annoying because I can't just say, what a fucking great story and good movie. And then I'm like, fuck you, Martin Scorsese, for putting me in this position where I'm like, come on, come up with, even if you just took it off of a goddamn island, right?
Yeah.
Don't have it be on an island because then that takes my ability to say, well, one person, you're so isolated out there. Why would they send a bunch of marshals for one woman? Okay. And they try to explain it and it just doesn't work for me. And then the second piece is if they're not on an island, it's easier for me to be okay with them bringing in people that are not part of this hospital to be part of this treatment of letting him work through this in this way, right? Or they send him to somewhere. Because I would have been more okay if you take the secret or the investigation out of the island. So even if you send him, let's say the institution is on an island, but we're sending him he's like a cop going to a different institution, or he's a cop going to a different place to do this investigation, and they've set it up and they're going to try this immersion therapy type thing. But having it be on the island in which he's being treated pulls me so far out of the reality of this thing. And again, it's probably just me, but God damn it, it drives me nuts. It really drives me nuts.
I don't think it's just you, because I didn't have that, or I don't have what you have, but I have maybe something that's adjacent to it, which is it's tricky to put words to, but it seems like they change what they're doing with their follow through, or they change this immersion therapy. Let's put it that way. I think that's the best way to do it. Because you have moments at the beginning, right? As soon as they get off the ferry, you have really insecure, trigger happy looking guards, right? And you get a view of Leo seeing this and kind of registering that within his, mind from being a marshal. And then you have the sequence where they get into the facility and freaking Mark Ruffalo did not know how to work his holster, right? And they specifically point that out, right? And you can again see the gears turning, and so it sets you up for this big reveal that he's a patient, and this is all theater.
Yeah.
The problem that gets me is when I'd say about a little after halfway through the movie, after they separate the two. Right. And then they start telling him, you didn't come here with a partner, you came here alone. And they do this gaslighting that it's after he, runs into cave dwelling Rachel Solando. That now all of a sudden you get this switch, and that's what they like break apart this immersion therapy all of a sudden. And they change it to be this gaslighting. And I'm pretty sure it's done for the audience's benefit to get us back on the side of, oh, dude, they're messed up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
But the problem is that then when you circle back to this is an elaborate role play, it doesn't make sense to me anymore, because if it was, why would you, one, let him go off on his own, and then two, deliberately change the circumstances with, as they've put it, a violent, volatile, extremely dangerous patient because of his background and his training. You're intentionally putting pressure, or these pressure points, to really on a teen time bomb of a patient. And that doesn't make sense when you have when the stakes are in play. Right? If you're going through this elaborate role play, stick to it.
Yeah.
Why are you cutting it off in the middle? And now you're essentially telling him, no, dude, you came here by yourself. What are you doing this type of thing for? And then the whole, we are medicating you through the cigarettes and the pills and everything like that. And that's the reason why you're having all these delusions of grandeur, is because you're off your meds.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute. Like, there's some nefarious disconnect there. And so that is what pulls me out in the way of like, okay, well, wait a second. If now you're telling this compelling story, but you're breaking all your rules. And Martin Scorsese typically doesn't do that. He typically stays in the rules in the movies that he does. It's like, hey, this is the world that I built. These are the rules within the world. We're going to stay within it, tell a great story, do all that. And this is one where it breaks apart, and you have all these. It's just the changing almost of this type of thing, where even if they aren't lobotomizing people and sending them out to do their dirty work, like, dude, this facility needs to be shut down anyway, because this immersion therapy, I see what they're trying to build with it, but no, you got to stick with it if you're going to go that route. You don't get to change your mind halfway through because you're just thinking, oh, hey, this will be fun. With our extremely violent patient.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm with you. I think another thing that I always think about is the one piece of genius from Scorsese was to set it in the time frame that he did.
Yes.
Because that's the other piece that, like, if you were to try to do a modern version of this, you couldn't do it. There's too many checks and balances. There's too much oversight for especially the mental health community and things like that. Like, you could never get away with putting a patient through this because it's not going to work. Like, a certain level of immersion therapy does work, but on that level, like, there's no fucking way, right? And so it's wild to me. So I do applaud him for picking that time frame, because
Post World War II, brilliant.
Yeah. Because that would have made it even worse. Like, if they try to do it in a modern. So I don't, and it's this really like I said, double-edged sword for me, because I have issues with the movie from a personal perspective, but I want to praise it because I'll tell you what, I also, on a personal level, am not like a huge Leonardo DiCaprio fan. Like,
how dare you?
I know. Hot take. I'm getting them all this fucking day tonight, this episode. Now listen, I love him when I love him. Like, when he's good, fucking unreal. Like, Django Unchained.
Oh yeah,
dude, don't even get me started about Leonardo DiCaprio in that movie. Back in the back of forever ago, like What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Jesus Christ! Like, there are so many movies that when he's on, and I think we talked about this when we did the one that with Tom Hanks and Catch Me If You Can. Like, I don't love him in that movie. However, in this movie, and I think this movie set him up to be as good as he was in what's the dream one? Why can't I think of the name of this movie? Inception. Because this character as the Marshal and his character from Inception feel very similar to me. And so I'm like, ooh, this movie set him up, because Inception is probably my two favorite performances from Leonardo DiCaprio. As much as I don't love this movie for reasons, I love Leonardo DiCaprio. And I love the interaction between Leonardo DiCaprio and what's wrong with me? Mark Ruffalo and Ben, the old man, the doctor. God damn it.
Dr. Stanley Tucci? Is that who it is?
No, Ben Kingsley.
Ben Kingsley, that's right.
Yeah. So those interactions, and Ben Kingsley is one of my favorite underrated actors. Like,
he does a good job in anything he's in.
So good. Even his fucking dumbass in the Marvel movies, Trevor Slattery, like he steals the show when he's in it. So I love Ben Kingsley. So anyway, of all the things that I poo-poo on this movie for, because it's a personal issue with me, like, from an acting perspective, it's up there for me. Like, as far as like performances go, there's not a bad performance in this movie from one of the leading or like secondary parts that actually drive this movie forward. Like, goddamn, it's good. Like, good.
Yeah, and I think part of that, because I agree with you on that, but it's an interesting thing because they kept as stacked as this cast is, they kept it small. Right? So it's mostly Leo, Mark, and Ben.
Yeah.
And very few people have to do anything other than stand in the background, look menacing, or look terrifying, or look off.
Yeah.
And then, because again, the only two guards that really talk are your warden and your deputy warden.
Yeah.
And with the warden being Ted Levine, like, you have every single bit of crazy brilliance locked up in that ball of humanity already, that it's pretty much just like lobbing softballs with what you're trying to build in this movie. And so you have a huge, well-stacked cast, but you keep all your interactions, or the majority of your interactions, within your core, and you don't have a lot of strain outside of it. But everybody, even in the background, who's just there, is doing a phenomenal job of just existing. And that sets the backdrop in the scene. And it's the, uncertain guards going through. It's the patients who are acting or are crazy. You have the interaction in Ward C, where both interactions in Ward C, where you have this back and forth with Leo and two different patients. And it's just every single interaction is this high stakes. Something big's on the line, and you don't know what it is, but something's big.
Yep.
But I will say it's really funny how the lengths that they're willing to go for this theater that they're putting on.
Yeah.
Like to the point of hiding clues for him to find and decipher. Like if you're just watching it from a purely entertainment, you miss all the fact, everything that has to go in for this to make sense, including like drugging him and dumping him on the ferry to begin with.
It's insane, dude.
To bring the ferry back in and have him play out this role, but to have like his informant, right, who he's talking about, is actually a patient in the ward, and it just everything that ticks off the amount they have to go through, and all these hidden clues that they're laying for him to find and deal with, and it's just leaving a cigarette on the edge of a cliffside.
Well, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's just great because it's the stack upon stack of theater that's going into it, and you almost have to say, okay, Scorsese, enough.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you really want to do this elaborate role play, you'd almost leave it very sparingly, and you'd have Leo's mind fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
Right. Essentially what you'd want to do. You give the basic plot points, but aside from that, you just let him kind of work through it on his own.
Yeah.
Which would take an incredible amount of coordination to begin with, but that would be a thing. But this is so funny because it's the most elaborate scavenger hunt. Well, most elaborate wild goose chase, really, is what it is. But it's, I mean, even to the point where this cracks me up. Subsequent watchings, right? First watching didn't catch it or thought it was brilliant, but it cracks me up at the end, or watching it again, where the big reveal about the 67th patient, is because they deliberately were talking about only having 66 in their meeting.
Yeah,
like they're deliberately dropping this hint and clue that there's one unhidden patient. But to have the again, to have everybody on the conspiracy to bring that about is so funny to me, because somebody at some point is gonna accidentally goof up or let it slip or not be able to carry through.
Yeah,
and that would throw off everything. You'd have to essentially start over in another 9 months after he relapses.
Yeah. And I think that's okay. So you just encapsulated way better than I was trying to in my fucking apparently fucked up brain today. Because I always ask the question too at the end of it, like, why?
Right.
Why? Okay, so let's say you go through the effort of doing exactly what you just talked about, because it's a monumental effort, and you're including patients, people that are already in your care because of mental institutional needs, and you're going to put them in. That's a dangerous situation because you can't control everything, right? You learn that in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
They can't control all of it, and there's like hiccups in it. Like you got the two different Rachels, and you got like there's all sorts of things that go weird. Okay, and then you have to ask the question of like how much of it is staged again, right? But then at the end of it, no matter how much I love it and how much I think it's interesting and like a cool concept, like I go, why? Like, what does this guy do for you? Like, what is fixing him and getting him back and treating him differently than any other patient that you have to this extent? What does it do for you? Because they don't really talk about, like, other than the fact that the doctor wants to say, I fucking fixed him, right? Like, but that's it. Like, and to what end? Like, to what's the risk reward here? Like, is he going to save the world? No. Is he all you're going to be able to do is say, I took this guy that had some issues, serious issues, and I got him back on track. You're not going to, even if you did, you're not going to release him back to the public, because what happens if he goes backwards? This is a dangerous human being. Like, I think
he's there for life.
Yeah.
He's not getting out.
it's so, to me, like it always leads back to, it's a cool fucking concept, but I don't understand the why. And so therefore the means by which they're trying to get to the end seems way out of proportion. And like I said, it's just this conundrum for me because it's so fucking cool. But I'm like, fuck you, because it wouldn't happen. And so anyway, it's just weird. Like, but yeah, you epitomized what I was trying to say.
So you ready for me to go all crazy?
Sure.
Here's what I think. I think that the original ending of this was the psyop agent, government agent thing. I don't think it tested well with either test audiences or the studio. And so I think Martin Scorsese changed it to be he's a patient. Because this all if you change the ending that we see, right, which is he decides he no longer wants to run the risk of having to go through this again, relapsing, whatever it may be. So he goes and he's essentially willingly lobotomized.
Yeah.
Right. If you take that part out and you change the ending to be the hospital is almost this nefarious entity.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's really, I don't know about you, but where the problems, right, start with me are about 25 to 30 minutes till the end of the movie.
Yep.
It's when they're wrapping everything up. If you change the ending to be this more nefarious, they're essentially turning them into this, crazy kind of compliant agent.
Mm-hmm.
Then it all fucking makes sense. And now it's more of they selected him because he was asking these questions as a marshal. They put him on a boat with a partner he doesn't know, first partner who just happens to work for the institution. Mm-hmm. They are drugging his cigarettes and they're drugging his pills, giving him this aspirin. It's not really aspirin. Yeah. And they're setting him up as this violent, extremely capable, potential, government asset that can be used in the field. You're Jason Bourne-esque type individual.
Yeah.
And now you're just in the process of breaking down his identity and transferring it over into what you can use that when you do, your lobotomized surgery, now you can ship him back. So that's what I think is because if you change the ending to be the more nefarious, that I don't think would have tested well with audiences in 2010. Now, I think it would test a whole lot better.
Shit, yeah. Well, that's the movie I want. When I watch it, I'm like, fuck, that's
be the
awesome.
Nefarious, dropping in these government agents because now you could open up so many things into McCarthyism and the 60s and the 70s and the Vietnam War and all this good stuff and all these things that happen if you have these planted agents that are because now you have a reason for this theatric role play. And it would not surprise me if that's what Scorsese wanted to do. See, the government found me, the light turned off. That's what Scorsese wanted to do. Or if that was kind of the plan to begin with, because that to me makes a whole lot more sense, makes this movie better. And it takes your story that you're building and it makes sense for having this switch in the middle that does bug me, where it goes from, it doesn't make any sense to gaslight your therapy. It doesn't make any sense to do it, to tell him that he came here alone. He doesn't actually have a partner. That only makes sense if you're breaking them down and trying to convince everybody that he's crazy.
Yep.
And so that's where, after watching this movie a handful of times, it starts to go down. Like I would be shocked if this was the original ending that Scorsese had planned. Yeah. But he had to change it from studio pressure or from test audiences not liking it. That makes more sense to me.
Yeah. No, that's hell of a call out and something I didn't even I should have thought about it, but I didn't. And I'll be honest, like that would make sense to me because that's also Scorsese doesn't make happy films. So like the fact that this one doesn't necessarily end happily, like it's pretty rough, but at the same time, like
it would have been good ending.
Exactly. It would have been a much more rough ending if like you find out that this dude's being groomed into some Jason Bourne-esque 1940s, 50s. You know what I mean?
Like imagine
that'd be dope.
Dude's
as fuck.
A veteran U.S. Marshal.
Oh,
just wreaking havoc.
But it would be cool as hell.
It would be cool as hell. But that would have been where if you change around a little bit and the last scene is him leaving on the ferry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
dude.
dude. Now I want a remake.
Because then you could just do a 30-second montage of world history events that happened in the next 10, 15 years, because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
And you could do a photo newspaper montage and have like just Leonardo DiCaprio all grainy in the background, or
Assassinations.
yeah. You could,
dude, could you imagine?
Could do so much with it.
Dude, could you imagine a freaking newspaper clipping of Kennedy?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Because now you have this
interviewed.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's the guy bringing in. Oh, he's the dude bringing him in. Get the fuck out. That would have been dope as fuck.
So that's where my brain goes watching this movie so many times, is looking at what I know about Scorsese films and what he does. And this, as good as it is, when you see Scorsese flash up at the end, you're kind of like, what?
Yeah.
Because there's enough in him to let you know it's going on, but it doesn't have that the Scorsese necessarily touch to it.
Yeah.
Right? And so every time I think about like what I would have done, provided I didn't have something, coming at me saying like, no, you can't do that, is I would have done this, this, and this, and have this be a very out in the open, like you brought up the Kennedy assassination. Something to do with the moon landing, something to do with Korea, something to do, because you could even have like a news clipping about the celebrated scientist who came up with this revolutionary treatment, and he's now going worldwide to different nations. And you could flash on with freaking Chairman Mao and Tiananmen Square and all these different protests around the world. And
oh my God,
communist nations, and the breaking of the Berlin Wall, and you could just had a 30-second just clip of all these things. And so you give enough to that story is actually happening, but you also leave it open and enough that it's like, okay, well, nobody's going to be able to prove this, because anybody who tries to gets turned into one of these agents.
Yeah.
And so you have the perfect scheme almost that's going on.
Man, you just opened up. That was fucking beautiful. Seriously, dude. Could you imagine, like, they show a clip of like a newspaper with Gorbachev sitting in the back, and right behind him is fucking Leo as an old man. Oh, get the fuck out.
Ben Kingsley.
Oh, yeah. I mean, jeez. Well, by the time Gorbachev, he'd be old.
Oh, that's true.
But at the same time, like, you could fucking, I mean, you could have so many.
And so that's why I love this movie and hate it at the same time, is because that's where my conspiracy theory brain goes. If you're gonna dangle that in front of me, like, dude, go all the way.
Yeah,
really go ham with it.
Yeah,
because you could essentially rewrite history in a way.
Yeah,
and this is part of the reason why I really enjoy Tarantino's films. Is because he does stuff similar to this, where he rewrites history from a different point of view of what could potentially have happened.
Yeah.
And so he just tells a great story and he changes stuff. This is one where I was like, dude, especially with the connections of, the after World War II and dispersing of National Socialist scientists to different countries around the world. Now you have a World War II vet who was part of this liberation of a concentration camp in Dachau. And you have that element added into it. And so, I mean, they set it up beautifully, and to the point where we see Leo speaking German.
Yeah.
And that's why I made the Jason Bourne kind of connection, is you have this guy who's prepped to be your undercover mole agent.
Yeah.
Right? If he knows German, he can learn other languages. He can learn Russian. He can learn Pakistani. He can learn, is Hebrew, right? He can learn all these different languages, and you could drop him anywhere in the world, but especially anywhere in the United States, and he could be your covert operative.
Yeah.
And so that's what I want from this movie. God damn it. Every time I watch it, that's what I want.
Well, now I want to write this movie that way. Like, that would have been so good. Like, that would be on, like, God, if done right, that could be on my like top 5 list.
You're talking about one of the probably greatest movies ever.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been
it's set up in Shutter Island, but they just, and that's for me, is it falls flat about 25 to 30 minutes before it ends.
Yeah.
Because they set their role play, then they set their gaslighting, and then they go back to the role play. And so that middle section, I'm like, why does it need to be there? You could still keep the role play all the way through.
Yeah.
But if I had my way,
wow.
Role play, gaslighting, now you see a real world kind of implication of what could happen.
That was a mind blow moment for me, man. Jesus Christ.
I'm here till Thursday.
On that note, I think we should just rank this motherfucker. And
all right, let's do it.
All right, dude, your movie, your go.
My movie, I go for. I'm gonna give it a 4. It is a great movie. Everything that I talked that it detract about does not detract enough, I'll say, because you can still sit down and watch it. But kind of what you said at the beginning is there are a lot of people who swear this is the greatest movie ever made. Don't be one of those people. They're wrong. Yeah. It is a great movie. It is not. It's not so great that this is the greatest movie you're ever going to see in your life. It could have been, in my opinion, but I'm going to give it a 4. I do like to sit down and rewatch this, a handful of times. It's one of those that is, I have to leave enough space so I forget kind of what's going on and happen so I can rediscover it as it's happening. But 4 for me, I will watch it again. I do enjoy this movie.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4 too. And it's always been a 4 for me, even when I was poo-pooing it at the beginning. And like I said, the only thing I poo-poo is the fact that it feels, and the more we've talked about it, like it just feels like it wasn't supposed to be what we got, right?
Yeah, what we got.
Yeah, and it makes sense to me thinking it from that perspective too, because like I said, I feel like I'm watching almost 2 different movies, because I'm like, it just doesn't make sense why you would go to the effort and then have no reason for the effort other than to say he's cured, right? And cured of what? He's never going to be cured. So it's like, I just don't get the effort that's put in there to the end that can come from it. So it's always bothered me. But it's a really good movie, and it's very well acted, and the dialogue is impressive as hell. And because even to your credit, like up until that point that we start to unravel the whole thing, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, because I'm always like, how do you lose somebody in an island and then act like they didn't just jump off the goddamn cliff? Like, why are we making this a thing? And then you're like, oh, fuck. And then I'm like, God damn it. What a waste. And so, yeah. And I'm with you. Like, I think this could have been a 5+. Like, holy shit balls. 5. Because goddamn, that could have been diabolical and twisted, even more so than it already is. So, yeah, really good movie. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. Jesus, see this movie, but understand that like there's some pieces that don't add up, and that's where I get frustrated with people that, like you said, Alec, that are like, "Oh, Shutter Island is Martin Scorsese's best." No, it's really not. Like it could have been, and there's parts that are, but as a whole, as a complete film, it's just not. And there are things that were missed. So, but for I love to watch it while I'm watching it. And then when I'm done, I'm like, God damn it, why did I watch that again? Because now I'm just frustrated. And now I think it might even be worse now that we've actually talked about that diabolical ass shit you were talking about, how it should have ended, because that's how it should have ended. So the YouTube channel, I don't know how it should have ended, needs to do a fucking episode on this one. Anyway, yeah, there it is. Good movie. Go check it out. It's a good way to start off the month of March. Oh, yeah. I didn't have a fucking complete and utter meltdown, which is nice because we've had a rough couple of months this year. So it was nice to watch a movie that I didn't want to fucking beat my head against the wall for.
Yeah, at this point, you're just mad you lost. You're not mad that you lost and have to watch the worst movies ever made.
Yeah, I'm mad that my Just the Tip list is still on fucking goddamn Pandora or Patreon. I don't want to fucking... But I'm not mad about the film that I had to watch for the first time in a very long time. So, yeah. But anyway, Alec, tell everybody where they can find us when they're not conspiracy theorizing with us.
Oh, that's the best place to find us. But YouTube is where you can see our smiling faces and our jokes that go back and forth and really see the life leave JJ's eyes whenever he's upset. Outside of that, join us at What's Our Verdict Reviews on Patreon. is completely free to get involved in the voting. And like I'm going to keep saying all year long, we've changed the way that we formulate the podcast. So voting now on the movies means a lot more to us, as Loser has punishments that come about, which is pretty much movies that the person does not want to watch, being able to be selected by people to make us watch them. So Patreon's the best place to get involved with that. If you want to get involved a little bit more, there's behind a small paywall tons of extra content. I think we're probably pushing 650 to 700 extra episodes of content. Everything that from bloopers, outtakes, all the way up to full-length episodes of movies nobody should watch, but we did for you. With that said, special thanks to our current patrons, Rich and CB. Guys are amazing for keeping the podcast going, and for this year especially, amazing for making JJ hate everything, which I appreciate immensely. With that, I will kick it back to the Colossus of Clout, the King of Crash, a JJ.
That's right. Thank you, Alec. Yeah, go check us out. Also, go check out w.gg. Get you 10% off with the code RVerdict when you do an order. It's good stuff there. We appreciate you tuning in. That'll help us grow the podcast, but we'll catch you on the next one.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Cinemagic out.
Whoa!